Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. How are you doing today? Ready for some drama? So today I have some new stories for you, and the first one is about OP and her husband, who donated OP's stepdaughter's belongings because she refused to pick them up from OP's house. Sounds like an evil stepmother, doesn't it? But listen till the end of the story before you judge. As they say, never judge the book by its cover. Enjoy the stories, guys, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to leave a comment. My husband has a daughter, Kara, who's starting college soon. She primarily lives with her mom, but visits once every 4 to 6 months for max of 2 nights. She's very involved with friends and activities in her mom's city that take up most of her time. My husband and I live in my 2-bedroom condo that I inherited with my first-grade daughter. When Kara has visited, she slept on the couch or a blow-up mattress. However, my husband has set aside my daughter's, Molly's, closet to keep Kara's things in for when she visits. That means Molly has no closet to use. Kara will be attending college out of state, and my husband has spent the past 4 months asking Kara if she wants her stuff that she left here. Kara's not answered at all. My husband has also asked his ex-wife if Kara would like to keep or have the stuff here. 4 months, and not a response from either of them on that. However, both are quick to reach out or respond when it includes buying Kara something new, giving them money, or demanding her tuition be paid. Kara and her mom basically pick and choose what to respond to. Earlier, I was going through my and Molly's stuff to find clothes neither of us wear to take to donation. I called my husband to ask what he wants me to do with Kara's stuff. He knew I was going to donation today. He told me to pack it up and donate it. I asked him if he's sure and that I don't feel right donating it and would rather just send it back to Kara to do as she pleases with it. My husband said no. He's given her over 4 months to respond, and he's reached out to his ex multiple times for neither to respond to that topic. He then said, as Kara's dad, he is making the decision to donate her stuff, and he plans to redo the closet in a way that's good for Molly. My husband sent Kara and his ex a joint text saying Kara's stuff had been donated due to their lack of response when he'd asked them what to do for months. Within 2 minutes, Kara called and flipped out. She called screaming and cussing that we had no right to donate her stuff, that it's hers, and we should have never touched it, and this convinces her that we're trying to erase her from our lives, that what we did is unforgivable, and we can be sure she will never visit again. Shortly after Kara got off the phone, the ex called, also screaming and cussing that that was Kara's stuff, and how dare we donate it, and accused us of stealing from Kara, and my husband of not caring about his daughter and trying to replace her with Molly. My husband frequently plans outings for him and Kara, but she cancels over 90% of the time to hang out with friends. My husband snapped at his ex. If her or Kara had answered, this would not have happened. So if they want to blame anyone, they need to blame themselves. I know my husband told me to donate Kara's stuff, and he's not upset with me. But I feel bad for not sending it back to Kara and her mom and letting them decide what to keep or not. I don't think OP is in the wrong here. I admire how empathetic OP is and how she tried to send her stuff back. Kara's father made a decision after asking them and giving them months of notice. And it's not like the stuff was taking up space in a spare closet. It was taking up much-needed room for OP's daughter, who actually lives there and uses her stuff on a daily basis. And now let's see what the community has to say. Bertie Bastard says, couldn't be bothered to respond for 16 weeks, but responds in 2 minutes when they were donated. Says it all about Kara. Definitely not the a-hole OP. Chung Lloyd 77 says, not the a-hole. 4 months is plenty of time to pick up your stuff that you left at someone else's house. Also, coming back from college to find that a parent, step or not, had donated your stuff without asking is a pretty universal experience. If she needed it so much, she could have taken it with her. Kinsey K369 says, not the a-hole. You gave them 4 months. Not sure how much longer you could have waited, and I doubt it'd make a difference. If no text had been sent notifying her of the donation, I doubt the stuff would have been mentioned again. You are right to focus on your daughter, who is not an adult and lives with you. She deserves a closet more than an adult who doesn't live there and doesn't respond. I, 31 female, have been dating partner, 38 male, for about 7 years. He has a daughter, 10 female, that I have a great relationship with. I really love being a stepmom. Not every step-parent relationship is the same, so I'll just say I'm very involved. I take her to soccer practice, go to every game I'm able to make with work schedules. We do those mud run obstacle courses. I taught her how to read, and we've been reading some of my childhood favorites together. I have a good relationship with her mom, too, and am usually the one who does pick-up drop-off when we swap houses. Money-wise, while I do make more money than my partner, slightly more than 1/3 of my salary is allocated to my student loan payments, car payments, etc. He and his brother own the house, and while they put $750 each month into the house account, I pay $400. Last night agreed to increase to $450. I do most of the groceries and also pitch 50-50 for all of her sports activities. Pitch for clothes, shoes, birthday parties, camping trips, weekends away, all that stuff. It's hard not to get into the weeds about the money, but he sees the mortgage as a way to buy us a future once we can afford to live separately from his brother. But I don't feel I can make a bigger contribution to the house account because I'm having a hard time affording my loans. I returned to school for a technical diploma while living with partner, brother, and stepdaughter. I probably could have gotten more ahead of them if I didn't have the added responsibility of caring for my stepdaughter. But I really want her to have the best life and get as many experiences as we can provide for her. The problem is, anytime we get into an argument about chores or money, he always argues that I should be paying for the mortgage and pitching for the child support payments. He went as far as to say that I was choosing to be a mom only when it was convenient for me, because I wasn't paying support. I think that comment makes him the a-hole, but he thinks I'm the a-hole because I don't pay child support and match his mortgage payments. Well, OP definitely shouldn't pay support for a child she didn't make. And she shouldn't pay an equal mortgage when he gets equity and OP doesn't. In my opinion, if he wants OP to pay equal, her name needs to go on the house. Let us see what the community has to say about the situation. World's Best April says, "Not the a-hole, he's being greedy. Do you have a formal, legal agreement regarding the house account to which you're contributing? Under whose name is that? My worry for you is if he's small enough to try to convince you to pay his child support, then he won't think twice to take your money." Dull Community says, dropping in to say, "I mean this with no disrespect whatsoever, but it is important. OP is not the step-parent of this man's child. OP, he has not married you. As far as I can tell, you are simply dating and living together. Thus, it only makes sense that you would pay for your own costs and a portion of the living expenses, if that's what you guys agreed on." Edit. I just saw he wants you to contribute towards the mortgage as well. Is your name even on the deed, OP? I think it's wonderful that you have a good relationship with his child and his child's mother, but you are in no way obligated to do anything to help with his child support payments or the expenses of his child, beyond just the goodness of your heart, because you seem to genuinely care about this child. Not the a-hole. He's trying to use you. C-Spot Run 4576 says, "Not the a-hole. You care for her when she's with you, it seems, and you have no obligation to the child or the payments. The house is not in your name, therefore you also don't have a responsibility there. If he wants help with the mortgage, then put your name on the deed." I, 35 female, live with my husband, 46 male. We've been together 5 years, married for 2 of those. Both of us are on our second marriage. I have a 9-year-old son from my first marriage, and he has 3 kids as well, 20 female, 17 female, and 15 male. The problem is, my oldest stepdaughter, Kara. She's had severe issues since before I even met my husband. She has bipolar disorder and frequently doesn't take her medication, misses doctor's appointments. She's been pregnant twice. The first ended in miscarriage, and her son is almost 100% raised by her mother. Kara is going to be attending beauty school soon, which her mom and dad are paying for out of pocket, over $18,000 just for tuition. She'll also be living with me and my husband and my son. We're only 10 minutes from her school. Note, husband and I live together in my house. I say my house because I bought it before we married, and we have a prenup and separate bank accounts. He and I earn roughly the same at our jobs. I won't be contributing to Kara's tuition, but I'll let her live with us rent-free. However, I told her I have some stipulations. She stays on her bipolar meds, she stops going out every weekend, and she starts birth control. I don't want her having any more unplanned kids under my roof. Her only excuse for not taking birth control is that she regularly forgets to take it consistently. I told her there's long-term birth control she can take, and I'll even drive her to doctor's appointments for it so her dad doesn't have to. She doesn't have a car. She's been resistant and is saying I'm trying to control her reproductive health, which, yes, I guess in a way I am. But she has a track record of being unsafe and irresponsible, And if her parents and I are going to help her out so significantly, I think she should take more precautions. My husband seems split on the issue. He wants to help Kara, but he also knows I have a point. Kara's mother actually agrees with me. Kara is very upset and thinks we're being controlling, even though she's an adult and trying to get her life back on track. Edit. I'm not saying she should go back on the pill. Personally, I think the copper IUD might suit her, but I'm not a doctor. I want her to consult a professional and try different long-term birth control options. Another edit. While I appreciate the suggestion of telling Kara she will be kicked out if she becomes pregnant, that's not realistic. Her dad would not kick her out, and I'm not okay with the idea of throwing out a pregnant, mentally ill girl into the streets. Her mom already has 3 kids in her home and wouldn't take Kara in if it came down to it. She said as much already. Okay guys, so that's a tricky one. Human rights and all that drama. Yes, OP's stepdaughter has a right to have kids, and OP can't force her to be on birth control. But stepdaughter also can't have another child and give this one to OP and her husband to care for, as she already gave one up to her mother. I think OP can't protect her from having more kids, and best case scenario would be just to tell her if she gets pregnant, she will have to move out. Stepdaughter is 20, not 14. It's time to be an adult. If she gets pregnant, she has 9 months to find a place. Simple as that. Let's see if our community agrees with me. V Paladin 81 says, "Not the a-hole. I see a lot of controversy on this one, and I understand. I would, however, like to point out that you are not forcing her to be on the pill. You are saying if she chooses to be on it, then she can live with you rent-free. The choice is still hers. The bipolar pills and treatment I think is 100% reasonable, since it is literally that she needs, and you are willing to help her." Wandering Wedding says, "You're the a-hole. I actually do agree with you, but I also find it inappropriate to tell another woman she needs to be on birth control. I probably would have just stopped at, if you get pregnant, you'll be asked to leave, and then let her figure out her reproductive choices. Or perhaps talk to her about birth control shots and IUD, but not told her she needs to be on it. More like just informative, advice conversation." Miley30 says, "Not the a-hole. Your requests, take psych meds, be on long-term birth control, and stop partying, are completely reasonable. If she can't or won't do these basic things, it's a sign she will be a disaster tearing through your house and family. If she wants to party, not take her meds or birth control, then she needs to find another house to set on fire." I live with my husband of 4 years, and we have children from previous relationships. From my previous marriage, I have my children Sadie, female 14, and Felix, male 11. They visit their dad on weekends and holidays. From his previous marriage, my husband has a daughter, Nina, female 15. Nina's mother has been out of the picture since she was a toddler, and my husband has full custody of Nina. My husband and I both work, so we split the household chores 50-50. Our kids also help out with chores. I've raised Sadie and Felix to clean up after themselves, and they know they're expected to pitch in on chores because they're part of a family unit. They will help out on simple chores like washing dishes and taking out the trash without being asked. Nina, however, is quite happy to watch Sadie and Felix do their bit with chores and doesn't help out. Whenever I ask Nina to even clean up her own messes, she'll roll her eyes and find any excuse not to do it. Recently, Sadie and Nina got into an argument whilst my husband was at work. Nina was eating snacks in the kitchen and left crumbs and wrappers all over the kitchen counter, then went into her room. Sadie followed her and told Nina to clean up after herself and put her wrappers in the trash. Nina started screaming at Sadie to get out of her room and turned it into a huge shouting match. I asked them what was going on and told them to stop shouting. They told me their sides of the story. Nina accused Sadie of harassing her and said the mess isn't a big deal. I told Nina to go clean up her mess in the kitchen, and if it's not cleaned in 30 minutes, she's grounded. Nina yelled at me and said I can't be serious. I told Nina she's now lost her chance to avoid punishment and she's grounded, and said not cleaning up your own mess is being lazy. After my husband got home, he talked to Nina about what happened. He's now annoyed at me for how I approached the situation and said I was wrong for implying that Nina is lazy, and said I upset her. Was I the a-hole? Well, OP didn't tell her that she was lazy. OP said that not cleaning up after herself was lazy. There's a huge difference there. An action being lazy is completely different than being lazy in general. Let's see what the community says. Love92 says, "Not the a-hole. Nina was spoiled by her father before meeting you and your kids. You and your husband need to talk and decide what to do. Diagnosed Wolf says, not the a-hole. You didn't say she was lazy. She said she was being lazy. That's a pretty crucial difference. Studies have shown that it's important to separate the behavior from the child in your language. You are bad is very, very different to you are behaving badly. I suspect that when you said you are being lazy, your stepdaughter heard you are lazy because she knows deep down that it's true. Chalular07 says, not the a-hole, and your husband needs to get on the same page as you. It is impossible to have a household where the kids have completely different rules and expectations and avoid it becoming a serious issue. Editing to add. I say he needs to get on your page because cleaning up after themselves and doing chores should be expected from teenagers.